But among the guests who are here and about to take up their seats in the rally or launch room is the Finance Minister, Matthias Cormann, and we'll talk through some of the campaign themes and the more recent developments in Europe. Minister, welcome. Stability. I'll put to you the same question we put to Steve Ciobo, your colleague, a few moments ago. The inclusion prominently of the word stability in the slogan or the logo today. It's not by accident. How much is that drawn on the events of Europe and the UK in recent days?
These are uncertain times, and Australia at any one point in time faces a series of global economic headwinds and external risks beyond our control, and it is very important, of course, in that context, and especially with the momentous decision taken in Britain on Thursday, that we continue to have a stable government here in Australia implementing a clear plan for the economy, a clear plan for jobs and growth. And of course the Turnbull government has that plan, and the Turnbull government is best placed to continue to provide political stability.
If some of the ructions, the immediate ructions that we saw on the markets were to persist, it would flow through into the broader economy and government revenue, wouldn't it?
Well, obviously the sort of decision that was made on Thursday was inevitably going to create a level of uncertainty for a period, driven by the markets. But the important point is that the Turnbull government here in Australia has a plan for a strong and successful economy. We have a plan to deal with whatever comes our way. We have a plan to ensure we are as resilient as possible to deal with challenges, but also in the best possible position to take advantage of opportunities. And the contrast with the alternative could not be more stark. Bill Shorten, would lead a Labor Green Independent alliance which would deliver chaos and dysfunction, bigger deficits, higher taxes, and as such, weaker growth, fewer jobs, and of course weaker borders.
You say a plan to deal with whatever comes our way, but you have to deal with the hand dealt. Do you have any fix yet on what the repercussions might be for government finances?
Well, at any one point in time, there are things happening in the world that matter to us, but that are outside of our direct control. The important thing is that here in Australia, we do everything we can to put ourselves in the strongest possible position. And our National Economic Plan is designed to do precisely that. Our plan to boost investment and innovation, to support startups. Our plan through our defence industry plan to support local high-end manufacturing. Our export trade deals, our more competitive business tax rate, all designed to ensure that Australia's economy is in the best possible position to deal with whatever comes our way.
It's a plan which is, in effect, a budget, and that's based on forecasts. Those forecasts were made absent the knowledge of what occurred on Friday morning, our time. I guess what I'm trying to get at is none of this is locked in the plan, is it? I mean, it's vulnerable to all sorts of fluctuations. We're only just at the front edge of what that might look like. You can't rule out, for instance, can you, that the deficits might be deeper, more deeper than you had forecast only in May?
Well, our budget is in our National Economic Plan for Jobs and Growth, and the economic parameters in our budget are based on the best available information and ticked off by the Secretaries of Treasury and Finance independently in the pre-election economic and fiscal outlook. But what our plan is designed to do is to ensure that we are in the best possible position to be successful in the future, irrespective of what happens in the rest of the world. But I mean, because of the uncertainty, because of the global economic headwinds that come our way from time to time, it is so important that we continue to implement our plan to strengthen growth, create more jobs, whereas Labor's approach, bigger deficits, higher taxes, which actually hurt the economy, cost jobs, lower investment, and that is not what Australia needs right now.
All right, well, of all of the people in the Turnbull cabinet, no one arguably knows Europe better than you do. What's your own interpretation about what happens next? What is the potential for the events there to wreak further financial but also social chaos?
Well, look, I mean, the decision on Thursday was a matter for the British people. We respect that it was their decision. From here on in, it's a matter for the British government, obviously, with Europe to negotiate what comes next. And there are certain procedural steps that will have to follow. Right now, nothing has actually changed in practice other than the outlook. But obviously, as soon as Britain has chosen a new leader, well, as soon as the Conservative Party has chosen a new leader and as such a new Prime Minister, decisions will have to be made on the exit process from here.
And we're seeing European leaders rally together, in effect saying to Britain, if you want to go quickly. Why do you think they're doing that. Who are they speaking to?
Look, these questions are entirely matters for the Europeans and the United Kingdom to sort out. From an Australian point of view, we have obviously got a very strong and positive relationship with Britain, and we look forward to continuing to pursue every possible business opportunity with Britain. And we're also focusing on our relationship with continental Europe through France and Germany and the like. And we are, of course, exploring a possible export trade deal with the European Union as well. So we are keen to ensure that from an Australian point of view, we can have the best possible relationship both with the United Kingdom and with Europe.
And do you think that trade deal with Europe, with the bloc, is more likely or less likely because of the events of last week?
We'll continue to negotiate. I mean, I think that's just a matter now for the processes into the future to determine.
And the relationship with the new Prime Minister of the UK, whoever that is, do you think it's important or beholden on Australia to reach out to them in their moment of loneliness, I suppose?
Australia has got historically and into the future a very strong, positive relationship with Britain. Obviously we would expect that to continue. I'm very confident that that will continue, and we have a good and positive relationship with Europe, and we will continue to do everything we can to ensure that continues into the future.
Okay, back to the purpose of today. It is to give renewed momentum, but is it to announce anything new or just to repackage and re-message all that you've said in the last 7 weeks?
Well, I'm not going to steal the Prime Minister's thunder, but the key purpose today, obviously, is to again explain the importance of our National Economic Plan for Jobs and Growth, the importance of political stability, the importance not to put at risk what has been achieved and what is yet to be done. This is about making sure that the Australian people clearly understand the choice in front of them between either the continuation of a stable Turnbull government delivering jobs and growth, or the chaos and dysfunction that would come with a Bill Shorten-led minority Labor Green independent government, which would deliver bigger deficits, higher taxes, weaker growth, fewer jobs and weaker borders.
All right, and just to finish where we also finished with Steve Ciobo, I mean, you're trying to push this stability line, yet the coalition went through its own, or the Liberal Party went through its own wrenching decision and instability last September. Can you say now on this day that was the right decision, that you're in a better position as a government now, having made that choice?
Well, the choice at this election is a choice between a Turnbull-led coalition government or a Bill Shorten-led Labor Green independent alliance. And obviously our very strong recommendation to the Australian people is to continue to support the strong and united Turnbull government, to support stability and to support our plan for jobs and growth, because the alternative would deliver chaos and dysfunction, bigger deficits, higher taxes and weaker borders, and that is not what Australia needs.
All right, well, a well-versed message there, Matthias Cormann, who also doubles as campaign spokesman. Thanks for your thoughts today.
Talk to you.